Hello everyone, welcome to a new video. Now today, I want to tell you all about my brand new car, and I'll give you a little clue what that is. Yep, I bought myself a Honda S2000. Woohoo! Now the Honda S2000 in my eyes has got to be one of the most overrated cars. I've driven one a few years ago. I wasn't that impressed with it, but driving this particular model, boy was I wrong. The steering, the handling, the throttle response, the brakes, all make this one of the most engaging Hondas. No, one of the most engaging cars ever created. And that's why these cars, Honda S2000s, you can't get them for less than 7 grand. This particular model, it's a special one. 42,500 miles on the clock, and I bloody love this thing. I just feel the need to put my foot flat to the floor and hit the rev limiter. There we go. God, it takes so long to get there, but when you're there, oh, that's a good feeling. Oh, S2000, I have really underestimated you. And now I've got my very own S2000. What great fun. Lightweight, rear wheel drive, LSD, amazing manual gearbox. This is peak motoring, people. But this pristine Honda S2000 isn't mine. This is me we're talking about. My car is that one.
AKA the UK's cheapest Honda S2000 after I paid, wait for it, only £2,000 for this very car. As you can see, it's certainly seen better days, and because it's been sitting outside for 5 years, it'll need a lot of work. But this sleek box of VTEC goodness is the latest quirky car to join my fleet of interesting tat. Let's just hope it's not a complete dog, which is why I've brought it to Actual Honda UK to find out if my £2,000 purchase is a potential gold mine or more likely a rusty death trap. I mean, this is my car after all.
Okay, so you join me now at Actual Honda HQ in Bracknell, and I'm joined by John White, who is Honda's master technician.
Nice to meet you.
John will be the likely bearer of bad news because, John, I have brought you my £2,000 Honda S2000, the cheapest S2000 in the country. What we're going to do today is obviously have a poke around and get the thumbs up, or the more likely thumbs down, from John about this car, and then hopefully a bit of a list of things to do. Why don't we start on bodywork, general condition. There is a little bit of rust. Are these prone to rust or not so much?
Yes, the early ones are prone to rust. This one's quite bad on the rear wheel arches.
I mean, if this was a BMW E46, this would be mint. But for a Honda S2000 to call this bad, it must be quite bad. And one thing that you noticed before we actually unloaded was that we have a different set of wheels, don't we?
Yeah, it's got 2 different sets of wheels on there. So the ones that are polished, they're off of a Gen 2, and the ones that are just all painted silver, that is off of a Mark 1.
So we do have a bit of a bitzer.
So you do have a bit of a bitzer car, yeah.
Indeed. The roof we know works, which is a big plus point, but the roof does need to be replaced because there's quite a few holes.
Yeah, there's a few cuts, and it's perished as well. It's just dried out, and some of it's rotted as well, so it's gone all hard.
You got one on the shelf somewhere, John?
Unfortunately not, no.
Okay. Are they expensive? Unfortunately, yes.
Yeah, unfortunately, yes, they are. Yeah, but the frame's good.
In terms of panel gaps, we have a few. Is this direct from Honda, from the factory? With
Absolutely not.
Okay.
No, that is bent.
All the tyres are perished, all the brakes are perished, but I mean the car does roll freely, so the calipers.
So none of the calipers are seized, but yeah, so you would need new discs and pads, I would have said, because they're and a clean up of all the calipers and stuff because they're extremely rusty. But again, that's where it's been standing for so long. This is all dented as well, scratched. Yeah. So it needs a full repaint, to be fair.
Well, you can't say that. You've not seen underneath. It could just need a new wing and a bit of a flat polish.
The scratches, dents, rust.
All right.
The whole car's going to need a full repaint.
Okay.
In my honest opinion.
All right. Okay. What would he know? As for the front end, though, it looks fairly clean.
Yeah, it looks fairly
straight.
Yeah, bumper and everything looks fairly straight. The headlight washer jet's broken on this side.
Yeah.
The headlights could do with a machine polish.
Yeah. But John, £2 grand. That's what I'm going to keep on coming back to.
Yeah, no.
Every time you criticise, I'll just say £2 grand.
No, and for £2 grand, So far, so good.
Okay, yes, that's, we're going to be friends. Should we have a quick look underneath the hood? It looks quite tired, doesn't it?
It does look quite tired, but again, it's not the end of the world. So you know, a good jet wash, and this can be repainted. You can actually buy the crackle effect paint, and you can rub that down and redo that. That will come up like brand new. I think it looks worse than it actually is, to be fair.
I agree with you. And in terms of reliability of these engines?
These engines, as long as they're serviced, you know, the regular maintenance on there, they are absolutely bomb-proof, to be fair.
Interior, John, should we have a
let's have a quick look. Let's have a look at the interior. To be fair, you know, for the age and the mileage of the car, the interior, you know, underneath all the dirt that's there will clean up to be pretty good, I would imagine.
Jobs are good.
Very, it'll come up really good, really good.
Now I think the more tricky part will be having a look underneath and you telling me that everything is good underneath.
Okay, yeah, let's have a look.
That won't be the case.
It's been standing for quite a while, I'd imagine it's going to be rocky horrors.
Let's do it, let's lift it up.
Wow, that is quite rusty underneath here.
Yeah.
Honestly, it looks like the Titanic, to be fair.
Oh, that's not a good thing, is it?
Not really.
Yeah. Before we actually started filming this section, what you don't know is that John had to actually put the car back on the ground and then reposition the arms because I think your words were, oh, that didn't sound very good.
No.
So we got a bit of rust here, but we'll get started here.
Yeah.
So if we just concentrate on here backwards, just for the video, and then we won't bother going that way. Because remember, John, it's a £2,000 S2000. This all looks really quite scabby though, doesn't it?
It certainly does, but again, with a wire brush and an underseal, most of that will come off.
So we can probably presume that all the bushes need to be replaced because they'll be perished if they're state of this.
Yes. These ones are not too bad, to be fair.
Oh.
Drop links are good.
So it just does need a bit of a rub down. It needs a bath, doesn't it?
It certainly, yeah. It just needs a bit of TLC, really. Someone to rub it all down and
get a bit sensual with it.
So yeah, not too bad. The original exhaust system, that all looks good.
Is that original? Is it?
Yeah, that's all
wow.
original.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's never been changed.
Nice.
And
that does look pretty good.
That's really good.
What's this?
Yeah.
What's this?
That's to balance out because you've got the length of these two pipes is slightly different.
Yeah.
So this balances, that gives you the balance out on the pressure on the back, so it's exactly the same both sides.
No way.
Yeah.
Did you know that at home? I'm guessing not. That's cool.
There's no oil leaks on the engine whatsoever.
So on first inspection, when we were at the back of the car, you said it looked like the Titanic. It looks like very woeful news, but in reality, it just needs a rub down there.
Yeah.
And like you said, absolutely zero oil leaks.
No oil leaks whatsoever.
But we do have a slight problem with the sills.
You do, and I think, yeah.
Have you got a screwdriver?
We have.
Should we do the screwdriver test? Oh yeah, I want to get out from under here as well. We need a really long one.
Right, let's have a look and see if this rust has gone through. It's quite solid.
Yeah.
But there, look, it's very, look, there's not so good there, which is right behind that jacking point there, look.
Yeah. So all in all though, I genuinely thought that this car was going to be quite, but it looks way worse than it is. And I think it's probably had quite a hard life and it's not been cared for, but I don't think it needs that much work. It's mainly bodywork, isn't it? Are you as surprised as I am?
I am very surprised actually. I think it's in a lot better condition than I thought it was going to be in.
Amazing.
Considering, you know, the mileage and you know, the length of time it's been standing.
Yeah. So how would you do things, John? Would you start it up and then have a poke about?
Yeah, I'll check and see if it's got any oil in it first.
Oh, that's a good shout, yeah.
Do you want to start it up and just have a listen?
Yeah. I'm hoping, John, that you're going to be wildly impressed.
That doesn't sound too clever, does it?
No. Is it a bit valve-timey or tappety?
Yeah, let's have a listen to see see if we can try and work out where that noise is coming from.
So what are you doing with that screwdriver?
Well, if you put the screwdriver onto certain components of the engine and put your ear to there, it transmits the noise so you can hear where it's coming at its loudest point. Oh. So let's let it down a little bit further so I can
You're like the engine whisperer.
The engine whisperer, yeah.
Yeah.
It's coming from the timing chain area. Yeah, so that would need investigating.
Yeah.
So you have to strip that side of the engine down. But with the mileage and everything, and you know the way it's been standing for such a long time, to be fair, I'd probably change that anyway.
Yeah, it's a matter of course.
Of course, I'd change the tensioner, the chain, the guides. It all comes as a kit, and do the valve clearances as well.
Okay.
But yeah, that's sounds like the chain's like having a slap around inside there.
Okay. So these are all pretty much serviceable items, right?
They are, absolutely. Yeah, all serviceable items. Yeah, I mean, you know, you don't know how the car's been driven.
Yeah.
Regular, you know, if it's had regular oil changes and stuff, and the chains, you know, they do stretch if they've been driven hard.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
For long periods of time. So it's really, it is a serviceable item. It's not, definitely not the end of the world. So the engine itself actually sounds really, really good.
So having a look on here, John, 7 grand is starting price, and that's got 107k miles, 121k miles for 7.2, 7 and 10 grand really.
So yeah, so it's definitely worth investing and putting
Definitely, yeah.
a couple of grand into it. And then, no, you've done well.
Because then I've got a 4-5 grand Honda S2000.
Yeah, I think you've done really well.
So there you have it. My £2,000 Honda S2000 is actually not as bad as expected. A massive thank you to John White from Honda UK for checking the car over for me and giving it actually a pretty clean bill of health. As we know, it needs a timing chain, it needs some bodywork, it needs a general tart up and a bit of rust. But for me, I'm super happy. If you want to see some work on this car, then make sure you subscribe to the channel. And until then, have a great weekend. From me, goodbye.